Hello everybody, welcome back to a new day, a new video, and today we are going to be redesigning the live action Snow White dress. Well, this should be fun. Okay, so before we get started, I'm just going to say, there's going to be some background noise. I'm watching my little sister and I have the TV on in here, and I put it on a low volume, but you might still be able to hear it. I'll listen back and see if you'll be able to hear it. Hey, Ava! Ava, do you want to come say hi? Come. Okay, this is Ava. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, so like I said before, we're gonna be redesigning I'm gonna be giving my own version of what I think the live action dress should have looked like. Now, I think we can all agree that the live action dress that we got has issues. And the movie as a whole has issues. Disney should really just stop making the live action movies. It would do them a lot of good. And or at least put effort into it, because the past 2 or 3 live action remakes, no effort or passion behind it at all. So, we're gonna be working on the live action dress today. So what I'm drawing here is, I decided to draw, the original cartoon version, so I can kind of, get an idea of, what I'm working with. But, so what I wanted to do for this design was, so first of all, the story Snow White is based in Germany, I believe. Hold on, I have some notes. It's based in Germany, I believe, and I've seen a lot of people try to create, the dress, try to create a more, historically accurate version of Snow White's dress, and really, while I was looking at references and stuff for my, design, her original dress isn't too far off. It's just, very simplified. Which, of course, it's a cartoon, and, it would have been an absolute pain to animate all of those things. Which, it's easier to animate stuff like that now, but, I imagine back then, where they're just, drawing, completely on paper. All the frames, everything, it would have been extremely difficult. So I understand why the cartoon is very simple. But I have seen, edits of people who try to make the dress look more historically accurate, and like I said, it's not too far off. It's just extremely simple, the cartoon original version, but the edits are very pretty. I would highly recommend going on Pinterest and searching up historically accurate Snow White. It's very interesting, and cosplayers let's just say cosplayers do a much better job than the live action dress. So I looked at a lot of references of course, the original Snow White, a lot of edits that people have made, and just looking at medieval, European, German fashion in general. And I decided that I wanted to make the color palette a bit more muted. For example, the yellow is very saturated, and it's not bad, it's not ugly, it's nice, but if we're going for more historically accurate, then I would probably put it to be a bit more muted. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense or if that's correct. That's just my way of thinking. The reds are a bit more muted. The blue is a lot darker. And I actually really like how the color palette looks. I also decided to make her hair longer, because I feel like she would just be so pretty with long hair. And I kept her headband with the bow, but I kind of put it's layered, and then she has another bow holding up a little half up, half down ponytail. I think it's very cute. I also gave her some pearls. Ava's playing with one of those little toy cashier things, so you're gonna hear that. But what else? I gave her some pearls because I thought it was pretty, and on the dress, you'll see it again in this next speed paint. I put some embroidery on it, and I put apples on it for that thing, subtle foreshadowing. So with the design done, I decided that I wanted to look at some screenshots from the cartoon and I decided that I wanted to like draw her in some of the poses that she is seen within the movie. So yeah, that's what this page is. We have like her holding the apple, we have her singing to the bird, and then we have her dancing, which is, I actually really love how all of the art for this video came out. I would definitely want to draw her again, and like I love how her hair turned out especially. I like the original hair, how it's like short and it's curly. I like that, but like a part of me was like, long hair would look very pretty too. So I gave her long, curly, like kind of like, you know how like in the Percy Jackson books they like describe like Annabelle, oh my goodness, Annabeth's hair as like being curled like a princess. So that's kind of what hers is. And yes, I have read some of the Percy Jackson books. I stopped reading them because of a reason that will make some people very mad at me. Probably even more mad than what I'm doing in this video. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? I feel like I would like to do this again, like with some of the other Disney princesses, like this, like design like how I think they would look for like a live action, or like take some of the ones that have been live actioned, like especially like I feel like the dresses. Well, when it comes to like Snow White and Belle, I feel like they have like their dresses have had the most controversy. And I definitely think that the live-action Belle dress is pretty, but it just doesn't fit at all. Like, it just doesn't fit the... Like, because, like, the movie set up a lot of, like this beautiful, like, full of, like, aesthetics. And, like, you knew, like, that this was France, you know? You knew that that was France, and there was, like, this whole aesthetic set up. But her dress kind of just broke it. And... although it's very pretty, it just doesn't make sense. Ava's being silly. So, yeah. So going back to the art, like I said, I'm really happy with how the art in this video turned out. I think she's absolutely adorable. I love her hair. I especially love, like, in this speed paint, like, the one where she's holding the apple. I think she's just adorable. Okay, so going into the, story aspect of Snow White. So like for like the 2% of people that don't know, Snow White is a story, like a short story or a fairy tale that was written by the Brothers Grimm in the 19th century, I believe. And so like I'm pretty sure we all know like the basic story, you know, mirror mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, stuff like that. But the Brothers Grimm story is a bit different from how the movie is. For example, I believe, like, so, like, I listened to the story, right? So I listened to the story beforehand, so I actually knew what I was dealing with. And there are a few differences. One, the, Snow White, I don't know if it's just, like, throughout the whole story, or if it's just, like, it mentions, I believe, like, through the whole story, she was 7 years old. And in the original cartoon, I believe she was 14 years old, which was kind of strange, because, like, I believe I saw something somewhere about the prince being, like, in his 30s, so that's definitely, like, if I were to make a version of Snow White, that would definitely change. Another difference in the Snow White is, first of all, like, in the Brothers Grimm, there was no true love's kiss or anything. The prince kind of just found her in the casket and, like, told the dwarfs, hey, I'm gonna take her. I don't know what he was planning on doing, but, like, he and his servants, like, took the casket, and while, like, they were taking the casket, like the piece of apple that was in her throat came out, and she woke up. So there was no true love's kiss in Snow White. Another thing that was different was how the queen didn't... Okay, yeah, the evil queen died, but it wasn't, like, in the movie, like, I've seen clips of this, it's like she fell off a cliff, and then, like, a boulder landed on top of her as she was falling off. But, in the Brothers Grimm, so, like, Snow White, she gets married to the prince, and the evil queen, finds out that, like, she goes to their wedding, and they find out that the evil queen is there, and when they see her, how do I explain this? They had, like, shoes made of iron, and they, like, They were like very hot shoes, and they forced her to wear them, and they were like burning her alive, and she was like forced to dance until she died, basically. So the speed paint that we're getting into now is like a full illustration of her that I wanted to do, and I wanted it to be like a winter scene behind her, and I'm actually so proud of how all of the art in this video came out. I love it all. I definitely want to draw her again. If you guys want to draw her, be my guest. I'll probably post the art on my community tab after, but I want to get in, so I have some like things written down on my phone, and it was like how I would want the story to be, or like changes I would have made to the story if I was writing it, like how I would write it. So like in the cartoon, she's 14, I believe, and in my version I would want her to be like 14, 15 years old as well. But you know, there was that thing with the prince being an adult and she's a child, and I was thinking, well, the prince could be the same age as her, or like a year older than her, so that like it's not, you know, illegal or wrong. And what I think is that like, so she's at the cottage where the dwarves stay, and like while the dwarves are gone, and while she's like kind of like taking care of the house and stuff, I imagine that like so like the prince like sneaks out of like the castle one day and like disguises himself as a peasant, just goes wandering around the woods, and he meets her, and then like he starts doing that like very often, so they like become friends, and then they like develop a little crush on each other, and then yeah. I feel like that would be really cute. I just realized that I say the word like a lot. But another thing I would like to keep the same is that like the prince coming and like finding her and telling the dwarves. So like in the original story, the prince kind of just finds her. There's like no connection between him and Snow White at all. He kind of just finds her like in the casket, and he tells the dwarves that like he like in exchange for the casket he will like take care of them and stuff like that. So he just takes the casket. That's what happens. But if I were to make like a version of the story, I would want to like keep that. But like if they have like met, like if they had like met before that, then there would actually be like some sort of connection, which kind of happens in the cartoon, but it's the true love's kiss thing, which never really happened in the original story. So yeah, like the rest of the story would pretty much go about the same way. You know, the prince takes the casket, she wakes up, then he brings her back to the palace, they get married, happily ever after, you know, the usual stuff. So yeah, so going back to like the topic of the live action movie, just like everything about it in general, I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't think they should have casted what's her, I don't even remember her name. I don't remember her name. They just shouldn't have casted her. I'm sorry. So that is pretty much everything I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys like the art in this video. I love how all the art turned out, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'm gonna go now because yeah, Ava, come say bye.
Bye, Eva.
Goodbye, everyone.